see right here, Québec, the home team against Newfoundland and Labrador. Also going on at Newfoundland and Labrador, the visiting team is the Raiders playing Alberta against the Newfoundland and Labrador East Ontario team. Then here today, here at the Newfoundland team, Nova Scotia, the Sydney Sooners are the home team against Ontario and Newfoundland Park Manitoba is the visiting team against New Brunswick. Also going on at Moncton Fisher Cats, visiting team against Newfoundland Park. And 3 o'clock at 9 o'clock, the Sooners against Ontario 2 and September 9th, Woody otherwise, the Michigan team is the host Victoria Mavericks in 7 o'clock start. Schedule here, and 3 o'clock Leading off the shortstop, number 3, Trevor Clark. That is second. in center field, number 38, American Flood. Batting seventh, and catching number 35, Redmond Hunts. Batting eighth, number 21, in left field, Dave Handy. And batting ninth, and third base, number 47, Dylan McKenzie. Starting pitcher is number 77, Ray Perry. Left the home team in this game, back. Leading off, and center field, number 23, Danny Deschamps. Batting second, in right field, number 35, Ted O'Shea. Batting third, at shortstop, number 4, Sarah Valliere. Batting sixth and seventh, batting 14th, designated hitter, number 30, John Longuerre. Batting seventh, and catching batting back, left field, and left field, so 57, Douglas Moore. Batting eighth, number 21, and sixth with the first base, number 27, Madeline Lozoe, 47, batting seventh, playing third base, number 6, Rachel Harris. Batting eighth, number 8, catcher, and that's all the back. And batting ninth, leading off, the second baseman, number 11, Andy Sheriff, Olivier Roselia. Batting second, starting pitcher, back, Rosal, and Chen Zimon. Batting third, at shortstop, number 4, Sarah Valliere. Batting sixth, batting 14th, designated hitter, number 3, John Longuerre. Batting seventh, catching batting back, left field, and left field, so 57, Douglas Moore. Batting eighth, number 21, sixth with the first base, number 27, Madeline Lozoe, 47, batting seventh, playing third base, number 6, Rachel Harris. Batting eighth, number 8, catcher, and that's all the back. And batting ninth, leading off, the second baseman, number 11, Andy Sheriff, Olivier Roselia. Batting second, starting pitcher, back, Rosal, and Chen Zimon. Batting third, at shortstop, number 4, Sarah Valliere. Batting 14th, designated hitter, number 3, John Longuerre. Batting seventh, catching batting back, left field, and left field, so 57, Douglas Moore. Batting eighth, number 21, sixth with the
right, man. Have fun. You have a mic there. All right, man. Have fun.
Hi everyone and welcome to Victoria, British Columbia and Wilson's Group Stadium at Royal Athletic Park. We are back for the 2018 Baseball Canada Men's National Championship for the second year in a row on Go Live broadcasts here in Victoria, BC. And we're set to get the tournament underway this morning here on this Thursday between Team Quebec and the team from Newfoundland represented by the St. John's Capitals. My name is Mike Edwards, along with our producer Chris Jaycox in the broadcast truck. We have 4 games today here at Wilson's Group Stadium, an additional 3 at Lambert Park, and we are underway here as the first pitch of the ballgame misses outside for ball 1. Etienne Saint-Amand getting the start, the righty for Quebec. Another pitch just missing outside, that one a little closer by Saint-Amand, but not quite catching the zone. 2 balls and no strikes here. Trevor Clark, the shortstop, leading off for Newfoundland.
Hi everyone, and
there's a strike to move the count now to 2-1.
And Wilson's Group
Well, we had the home run derby
Athletic.
last night, a fun way to start off the weekend, which was won by Serge Vautour of New Brunswick. This ball is hit to pretty deep left field, and it is off the very top of the wall. It'll be a loud start to the game as gliding into second with a double is Trevor Clark. That one just was a couple of inches away from leaving the yard to left. Hit off the very top of the Wilson's Group Stadium banner. And so Clark stands at second base. Here now is Parker Gulliver. We'll go through the entire Newfoundland lineup in just a moment. But both of these teams trying to start off the tournament on the right foot. It's never easy being in the opening game of the tournament, the 9 a.m. game here on the Thursday, but these two teams trying to get off to a good start. Saint-Amand misses on the first pitch here to Gulliver, who is the designated hitter. Trevor Clark again standing at second base after the leadoff double. Brent Power, the second baseman, is batting next in the 3 spot. Troy Croft at first base is hitting cleanup. Saint-Amand misses down and away. That'll bring the catcher Emmanuel Turcotte out to the mound to have a quick word with Saint-Amand, try to settle him down. But that gives us a chance to look at the entire Newfoundland order after Troy Croft in the cleanup spot. It's Andrew Paul, the right fielder, batting 5th. Aaron Flood, the center fielder, is 6th. Redmond Hunt, the catcher, bats 7th. Dave Penny, the left fielder, is batting 8th, and Dylan McKenzie, the third baseman, rounds out the order for Newfoundland in the 9 spot. So there's the Newfoundland order for you. The St. John's Capitals representing the province of Newfoundland here in 2018 at this tournament. 2 balls and no strikes, and that one's up high from Saint-Amand. Good hitters count here for Parker Gulliver, the designated hitter. Trying to knock in the first run of the tournament with Trevor Clark out there at second and nobody out. There's a strike on the outside corner. Looked like Gulliver was taking all the way. St. Amand able to find the zone. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike. And the 3-1 pitch is hit towards the hole and into right field for a base hit. Getting the stop sign at third is Clark. So it's just a base hit for Gulliver. Runners at the corners, first and third for Newfoundland. And they are threatening early to try to get some early runs on the board off of Etienne St. Amand, the starter for Quebec. That one was just hit a little too hard to shallow right on the ground for Clark to have a chance to come around to score from second. So there's still nobody out, runners at the corners, and the hitter now, Brent Power, the second baseman, getting his first chance to hit here in the tournament. And here is the 0-0 pitch to Power, which is drilled just foul past first base. A hard grounder just to the right side of that bag. It was that loud double to start this top of the first inning for Trevor Clark. Parker Gulliver followed it up with a single to right field to set us up here with runners at the corners, nobody out. And the 0-1 pitch coming up here from Etienne St. Amand to Brent Power. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2 as St. Amand blew the fastball by him that time. He's ahead 0-2, which is a spot where he hasn't been able to be to this point in the game. He's fallen behind a couple of hitters, the first 2 he's faced. But he's got Brent Power deep in the hole here, trying to find a big out number 1 at the plate. Reaching out to foul it back is Power to stay alive. Good emergency swing there with 2 strikes. So we'll do it again on 0-2. Troy Croft waits on deck. He was the Capitals representative in the home run derby last night. And here now is the 0-2 pitch. That one comes inside and gets all the way to the backstop, and to score is Clark. And that'll be the first run of the tournament, and it belongs to Newfoundland here in the top of the first inning. They lead it 1-0, also on the play. Parker Gulliver advancing to second base. That pitch did not actually hit the batter Brent Power. It looked like it came inside, came very close to hitting him. But fortunately for Newfoundland, it did not, which allowed the ball to get all the way to the backstop. And Clark came in to score from third. So it hasn't been the most confident of starts for Etienne St. Amand, with a couple of hits allowed, and now a wild pitch that allows the first run of the game to score for Newfoundland. And now the 1-2. This one is popped up to shallow right, back of second. This is Dostelay making the catch for Quebec, and that's out number 1. So a big first out recorded by Etienne St. Amand to just get that first one on the board. It'll give him some confidence, and for now, at this point in the inning, just trying to make sure that it doesn't get too far out of reach here early on for Quebec. They can live with the 1 run. But for Newfoundland now, with that out to the pop-up to shallow right center field, they will need another base hit to get something more out of this first inning. So here is Troy Croft, again, the representative for the St. John's Capitals in last night's home run derby. Croft also holds the distinction of being the oldest player in this tournament at 45 years of age. There's a strike to Croft. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count. Etienne St. Amand trying to find the strike zone with a little more consistency now as he works his way into this start. 1-1 pitch is a strike right on the outside corner. Nice pitch by St. Amand, and it's 1-2. one is popped up into foul ground and will get out of play. So it's still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Croft able to spoil away that last pitch by Etienne Saint-Amand. Chance to look at the defense in behind Saint-Amand here this morning for Team Quebec. Left to right in the outfield, it is Douglas Toro, Danny Deschamps, and Emmanuel Forcier, as the 1 and 2 pitch just floats high from Saint-Amand. 2 balls and 2 strikes. On the infield, Jonathan Jones is at third base. Cedric Valliere, the shortstop. Pierre-Oliver Dostele, the second baseman. Nicolas Lazo, the first baseman. And Emmanuel Turcotte doing the catching behind the plate. 2 and 2, and that's strike 3 called, painting the outside corner. And a big strikeout for the second out of the frame for Etienne Saint-Amand. Croft down looking, still at second base is Parker Gulliver, and trying to drive him in with a 2-out base hit. Here now is the right fielder Andrew Paul for Newfoundland. Admittedly, by the way, as we went over the defensive alignment for Quebec, my French is not all that sharp, but we'll do our best here over the 4 days with what we're hoping to see a lot of these Quebec team in their return to the tournament. They did not make the tournament last year. Instead, Alberta sent 2 teams, but Quebec is back in here in 2018, and we're looking forward to seeing them over these next 4 days. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count here on Andrew Paul. Again, Parker Gulliver, the base runner at second base. He reached on a single. Trevor Clark led off the ball game with a loud double, just missed a home run to left field, and then came in to score on a wild pitch. There's a good breaking ball in for a strike from Saint-Amand, who has looked stronger as the inning has gone along, trying to limit the damage to just the 1 run allowed. Healthy lead off of second for Gulliver. And the 1-2 is shot foul over the left side. Late swing there by Paul to stay alive. Count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Saint-Amand with the look in, and he is now set for another 1-2. That one well outside on the fastball. Just, I think, lost the grip of it and missed well off the plate. So that'll even the count now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Aaron Flood, the center fielder, would be next, as this one's hit up the middle, right to short. Scooped up by Valliere. The throw across is in time, and that's the inning. Nice damage control there in the first by Etienne Saint-Amand to get out of it with just the 1 run allowed. But Trevor Clark comes in to score on the wild pitch, and it's 1-0 Newfoundland in front as we go to the bottom of the first. Back here in Victoria for the bottom of the first inning, and it's a 1-0 Newfoundland lead after Trevor Clark's leadoff double, and then he came in to score on the wild pitch in the top of the first. So Newfoundland with the first run of the game. Now it's Quebec coming to the plate to hit for the first time here this morning. It'll be led off by the center fielder Danny Deschamps. He will face the starting left-hander for Newfoundland, Greg Barry, on the mound. And so a run on 2 hits in the top of the first for Newfoundland. Quebec trying to answer back right away here in the bottom of the inning. There's a first pitch strike from Barry to Deschamps. 0-1 the count. This one is hit hard foul over towards the dugout of the St. John's Capitals. Quickly 0-2. This Quebec team is more of an all-star team that's been fielded from the senior men's league in the province of Quebec, as opposed to many of the other provinces who have just sent the winning team of their province, including Newfoundland, which is the St. John's Capitals. A ball and 2 strikes. Here is the count. And this one is grounded foul past first base. Just a little out in front of it. On the swing there was Deschamps. Count holds at 1-2. After Deschamps, it'll be Emmanuel Forcier, the right fielder, getting his first chance to hit. Then Cedric Valliere, the shortstop, will bat third. Close pitch. That one just missed, and it's still alive up there at the plate is Deschamps. 2-2 the count. This one grounded up the middle towards the hole. And the throw is a little high there from second by Power, and safe at first is Deschamps. That should be a base hit. So we'll go through the rest of the Quebec order here for this game. After Valliere, the 3-hitter, it'll be Jean-Luc Blaquier, the DH, in the cleanup spot. Douglas Toro, the left fielder, bats 5th. Nicolas Loiseau, the first baseman, is 6th. Jonathan Jones, 7th. The third baseman, Emmanuel Turcotte. The catcher is 8th. And Pierre-Oliver Dostelet is hitting in the 9 spot for Quebec. There is strike 1 from Greg Barry to Emmanuel Forcier, the right fielder. Quebec trying to, again, get right back on the board and answer that 1 run that Newfoundland was able to put up in the top of the inning. There's a swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch there from Barry as he took a lot off it. That one clocked at 63 miles an hour on the radar gun. Big looping curveball. Now a throw over to first. Back in is Deschamps. Quebec off to a good start here in this inning with the leadoff single on the infield hit for Danny Deschamps. So he's aboard at first. There's nobody out. Emmanuel Forcier, the hitter at the plate. And the pitch is swung on and missed, and that is strike 3. Another nice curveball there from Greg Barry as he got Forcier well out in front of it. So Forcier goes down swinging. Now it's Cedric Valliere, the shortstop, getting a chance to hit with 1 on and 1 out. Another throw over to check on Deschamps. Wouldn't be overly surprising to see Danny Deschamps be put in motion here early in this ball game. Quebec down by a run. You'd think they'd be open to be aggressive on the base paths here early in the ball game. First pitch here from Greg Barry to Cedric Valliere misses upstairs, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. This one is hit hard but foul past the third base coach's box. Count evens up to 1-1. Here is a look at the defense in behind Greg Barry here this morning for Newfoundland. Left to right in the outfield, it's Dave Penny, Aaron Flood in center, and Andrew Paul in right. Dylan McKenzie is at third base, Trevor Clark at short, Brent Power at second, and Troy Croft at first. Redmond Hunt is doing the catching behind the plate for Barrie, as that last pitch missed outside. 2 balls and 1 strike here on Valier. Barrie now set for the 2-1. Breaking ball just misses upstairs. Tried to get the top edge of the zone on that one, and I think Barrie wanted that call. See just a little bit of a longer look into the home plate area. Now he'll take a walk off the mound. But trying to refocus in here. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike. That one will miss for ball 4. So it's a 1-out walk issued by Barrie. First and second now for Quebec as Deschamps advances up to second. The 3-man umpiring crew for this game behind home plate is Mitch Brosser, Mark Bodwell is at first base, and Chris Hartley at third, roaming actually around between second and third base. There's a first pitch strike from Greg Barrie to Jean-Luc Blaquier, the DH. A couple of cracks here for Quebec with that leadoff man at second base, Danny Deschamps, to try to knock him in and tie up this game, as this one is blasted out to left center field, and this will get down into the left center field gap. 1 run is coming in to score. Here's the trail runner coming home, and he will score as well. A 2-run double for Jean-Luc Blaquier. Scores Deschamps and Valier to put Quebec in front 2-1. So some early offense in this game. Here, the first game of the tournament at Wilson's Group Stadium. And it's now a 2-1 lead for Quebec after they fell behind 1-0 in the first. And we talked about it in that top half of the first inning. Etienne Saint-Amand did a nice job after allowing that first run to score of putting an end to the rally for Newfoundland and keeping them to just 1 run. Still a chance for more in the bottom of the first as Douglas Toro steps up to the plate to hit. Blaquier stands at second with 1 away. And here is the 1-0 pitch from Barrie to Toro. A little out in front of it that time, and he pulled it foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, we know how important the first game of the tournament is for every team. The 10 teams split up into 2 separate pools, and each team will play 4 round-robin games before the playoffs start. This one is drilled to deep left, and it is high off the wall. Another run will score for Quebec as Blaquier is in easily. Gliding into second, standing up, is Toro with an RBI double. And Quebec has a 3-1 lead.
First base, number 27, Nicholas Loiseau.
So Greg Barrie trying to settle into this game. He did record the first out, but still has 2 more to go in this bottom of the first. And now it's up to him to keep his team in the game. Running for third now is Toro. The throw down, got him. Nice throw. And a good tag applied as well by the third baseman, Dylan McKenzie. Redmond Hunt with a good accurate throw from behind the plate to get Toro trying to steal third. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Nicholas Loiseau, the first baseman, now hitting with the bases empty and 2 gone after Toro was thrown out trying to steal third base. That was actually the 0-1 pitch, so it's now 1-1, as this one is shot into pretty shallow left, and it will fall into no man's land. This will be another double for Quebec. This one more of a bloop double, but it does the job for Loiseau, getting him into scoring position, still with 2 out. And next up will be Jonathan Jones, the third baseman. And we saw Jones last night partake in the home run derby. He had 3 home runs after the first round, which was the most of anybody in the first round. Finished with a total of 5 to finish second in the derby to Surge Vatour. Here, though, just a single will do the job with 2 outs as Quebec tries to add another one. This one hit on the ground to third. Here's the throw across the diamond, and it's in time from McKenzie, and that'll be all for Quebec. But they score 3 in the bottom of the first to take a 3-1 lead as we head to inning number 2 at Wilson's Group Stadium.
Update from the other park, Alberta, where the Red Deer Raiders with a 2-0 lead in the second inning over the Willows and Red Army Ontario 2. 2-0 in the second inning for Red Deer.
Is there? Yeah. It's just like, there's like this thing there.
On to inning number 2 at Wilson's Group Stadium. 3-1, the lead for Quebec after an eventful first inning on both sides. Newfoundland struck for the first run of the game in the top of the first, but Quebec responding with 3 in the bottom half to lead 3-1. And now back to work goes Etienne Saint-Amand, the
Yeah, it's back on. Is it? Can you hear me?
There was a strikeout for out number 1 in the inning. Good start to the frame by Etienne Saint-Amand. That one misses downstairs. Fastball at 84 from Saint-Amand, below the knees of Redmond Hunt, the catcher, stepping in for his first hacks of the ball game. Here's a swing and a miss, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. That was Aaron Flood striking out to start the frame for Newfoundland. And a good chance here for Etienne Saint-Amand to really settle into this game. And now after a bit of a shaky start for him, he was able to improve as that top of the first inning went along. Now if he can settle in with the 2-run lead he has to work with, could be very important for Quebec as they try to add on when they come back up to the plate to hit. Newfoundland on the flip side trying to get that 2-run deficit wiped off the board as soon as they can. Here's the 2-2. Little check swing punched up the middle. Valliere at short has the throw in time, and that's out number 2. So Hunt is retired. This is Dave Penny now, the left fielder, as Etienne Saint-Amand has a chance for a nice quick 1-2-3 inning here if he can get Penny. First pitch breaking ball misses downstairs below the knees, and it's a ball and no strikes. Now a fastball down and away. Quickly 2-0 as Saint-Amand tries to find the zone. Two 0 pitches slapped foul. there by Dave Penny, and it's 2-1. Base is empty with 2 away here in the top of the second inning. 2-1 pitch is up and in, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Etienne Saint-Amand allowed that first run on 2 hits in the top of the first, but Quebec responding with 3 runs on 4 hits in the bottom half to lead it 3-1. That one misses downstairs, and it's a walk issued to Dave Penny with 2 outs. So the inning will continue now for Dylan McKenzie, the number 9 hitter and third baseman for Newfoundland. Etienne Saint-Amand is set for the 0-0 pitch, and that one's downstairs below the knees on McKenzie. 1 ball and no strikes. You can see there the first baseman, Troy Croft. Check that for Quebec. Nicholas Loiseau was creeping in from first, perhaps anticipating a bunt. Not showing bunt though is McKenzie, and it's 2-0. There's a strike. It looked like McKenzie was taking all the way as he wanted to make Etienne Saint-Amand prove that he could throw him a strike after he walked Dave Penny with 2 outs. Penny still over there at first. And now the 2-ball, 1-strike pitch to Dylan McKenzie is on the way. This one hit hard back up the middle, speared it short and flipped underhand to second, and that's the inning. Nice job by Etienne Saint-Amand after he issued the 2-out walk, able to get himself through the second with a 3-1 lead for Quebec as we go to the bottom half.
C'est ça, je me disais, les 2 chats, lui est perdu, là, lui veut focus là-dessus, l'élément sur lui, mais on peut pas être.
Le premier coup, j'ai été un petit peu rapide, mais là, quand tu as dit ça, j'ai comme ça. Ah, on va faire un peu plus.
Leading off for Quebec, the catcher number 8, Emmanuel Turcotte.
Bottom half of the second inning, and it's led off by the catcher for Quebec, Emmanuel Turcotte, after the Quebec team sent 7 men to the plate in the first. They got those 3 runs on 4 hits. And they're looking to get right back on the starter for Newfoundland, Greg Barry, here in the second inning, working with a 2-run lead. That one was foul tipped back in behind home plate by Turcotte. And it's quickly 0-2. Barry on the flip side trying to settle into this game. He looked sharp actually to start the ball game, but just had a bit of a lull in the middle part of that frame. There's a swing and a miss as Turcotte chased one outside. Good start to the frame for Barry, and it's out number 1. One thing that we did see from Barry is that what may have contributed to the rough first inning for him is that he seemed to be a little in disagreement with the home plate umpire Mitch Brosser about a potential strike 3 call that was ruled ball 3, and then on the next pitch he walked that batter, and both of those runners that were on base at the time came in to score. So perhaps a little bit of frustration in that first inning, trying to refresh his mind here in the second. This one is popped up off the bat of Pierre-Olivier Dostelay. Shallow left center, and it's caught by the shortstop, Trevor Clark, for the second out of the frame. So quickly 2 gone here in the bottom of the second for Greg Barry. And we'll go back to the top of the order now. Danny Deschamps, who reached on an infield hit to start off the bottom of the first for Quebec.
Number 23 center fielder, Danny Deschamps.
And here is the first pitch to Deschamps. Breaking ball upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. There is a strike to even up the count, 1-1. Deschamps came in to score on the Jean-Luc Blaquier double off the wall in left center field. And here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball down and away. Just going for that outside corner, but he missed with it for 2-1. Another breaking ball, this time on the inside part of the plate, but just off the inside corner, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Barry working quickly, and the 3-1 drops in to fill the count here to 3-2. Bases are empty with 2 away, and it's a full count on Danny Deschamps. And the pitch. This one hit hard past first base. That's a fair ball, and this will be extra bases for Deschamps. He's hustling for 2, and he is in there standing up with a double. So an infield hit and now a hard hit double for Deschamps to start off the ball game for him. And it gives Quebec another runner in scoring position for Emmanuel Forcier. First pitch to Forcier, floats outside. Pretty easy take for him for 1 ball and no strikes. We've seen Barry mix and match the big arcing breaking ball with the fastball, and at times it's been effective for him, but just the command, I think, missing over the plate has hurt him a little bit. He has, though, been able to successfully get some of these Quebec hitters off balance with that breaking ball well out in front. Here, though, he's looking for 1 final out to send us to the 3rd and put up a scoreless bottom of the 2nd. Ball and a strike is the count. This one is hit hard into right field for a base hit. Around 3rd is Deschamps. Here's the throw home, and it is cut off. Another run for Quebec here in the 2nd inning, as Deschamps comes in to score from 2nd on the Emmanuel Forcier RBI single. It's 4-1.
Number 4, shortstop, Cedric Valliere.
And remember, Barry did get to 2 outs quickly here to start the bottom of the 2nd, but that double down the right field line by Deschamps set up Quebec with a chance to score a run, and Forcier was able to drive that run in with a hard hit single into right. So a 4-1 ball game here in the 2nd inning. That'll bring out the pitching coach for Newfoundland to have a chat with Greg Barry.
Littleton and Red Army Ontario 2, of course, 2-0 in the third inning, 2-0 Labrador over Ontario 2.
We have a score update from the other park, Lambrick Park, the first game of the day over there. And it's a 2-0 lead for Alberta over Ontario 2. Alberta being represented by the Red Deer Riggers, Ontario 2, the Ilderton Red Army. So it's a 2-0 lead in the third inning over at Lambrick Park in the first game of the day. Here at Wilson's Group Stadium, it's a 4-1 Quebec lead over Newfoundland. Emmanuel Forcier at first base. The hitter at the plate is Cedric Valliere, the shortstop, and he hit that one just foul towards the Newfoundland dugout. 0-1 is the count. There is now a right-hander up and throwing in the Newfoundland bullpen down the right field line. One pitch is hit high in the air to deep left center field. Drifting back on it is Penny, and he will make the catch on the warning track to retire the side. So Barry does get out of the frame. 1 run comes in for Quebec in the inning, and it's 4-1. Quebec leads it as we head to inning number 3. Back here in Victoria for the third inning between Quebec and Newfoundland. There is strike 1 from Etienne Saint-Amand, back out there for his third inning of work, pitching to Trevor Clark, the leadoff man for Newfoundland. Clark led off the ball game, almost hit it out of the park, but just tipped off the very top of the wall for a double to start the top of the first inning. He came in to score on a wild pitch. As this one's bounced up the middle, Cedric Valliere fields it. The throw across is in time. And Valliere is being tested a handful of times already in the game with ground balls up the middle. Another nice play from him for the first out of the third. But back to Clark in that double, and then coming in to score on the wild pitch. That seems like an eternity ago for Newfoundland, who have since seen 4 runs come across the plate for Quebec to lead it 4-1 as we enter inning number 3. 0-1 is the count on Parker Gulliver, the DH. He singled his first time up. This one is foul down the right field line. 0-1 is the count. Well, just a note for you. We thank you for bearing with a bit of a raspy voice for me, and we'll also have Jameson Schultz-Franco for the play-by-play for a couple of games in this tournament here on Go Live Broadcasts. There is strike 3 called on Parker Gulliver, and a very nice start to this third inning for Etienne Saint-Amand. One of the things that has been an issue for some folks in Victoria, just beyond the baseball scene, is a lot of smoke in the air these last couple of days due to a lot of wildfires in the BC area and the wind blowing the smoke overhead, as this one is flown to deep right center, and running it down is Forcier in the gap to retire the side. Nice quick 1-2-3 inning for Etienne Saint-Amand in the top of the third, and we head to the bottom half at Wilson's Group Stadium. Quebec leads it 4-1.
Number 30, designated hitter Jean-Luc Blanquier.
On to the bottom of inning number 3 here at Wilson's Group Stadium, and it's led off by Jean-Luc Blanquier, the DH for Quebec. He drove in a pair with a double in his first at bat, so he has 2 RBIs of the 4 on the board for Quebec. A 4-1 lead over Newfoundland here in the bottom of inning number 3. Craig Berry back to work, trying to work through his first scoreless frame of the ball game after he allowed those 3 runs in the first and 1 more in the second. Big breaking ball dropped in for a strike there by Berry. 1-2 is the count on Blanquier. And here now is the 1-2 pitch. That one outside, and it's 2-2. That one crowding Blanquier on the inner half of the plate, missing off the inner half, and it's full 3-2. So this becomes, I think, an important pitch for Greg Berry, trying to avoid a leadoff walk here to start the third. Here is the payoff. And that one's spoiled away by Blanquier, a high foul over the first base side, and it remains 3-2. 3-2 pitch is blooped out to shallow left, coming in and unable to make the play in left is Penny. It'll be a base hit for Blanquier, so he is 2 for 2. And a tough luck base hit to give up for Berry, but the leadoff man does reach in this inning. As Quebec looks for more, it's a 3-run lead. They have 7 hits already in the game. And remember, every game in this tournament is a 7-inning game because of all the games that are being played packed into the 4-day tournament. There are 4 games here at Wilson's Group Stadium today. There are 3 at Lambrick Park. And so, of course, with the games being shortened to 7 innings for this tournament, starting pitching is increasingly important. This one's popped up, back of first. The catch is made by Troy Croft. And that'll be the first out of the inning. So Berry able to induce the pop-up for the first out of the frame. There off the bat of Douglas Toro. Here now is Nicholas Loiseau, the first baseman. Well, in the top half of the inning, we were just talking a little bit about the smoke and the conditions here at Wilson's Group Stadium in Victoria. As this ball is drilled to deep center, drifting back underneath it is Flood, and he reaches up to make the play, 2 down. But back to the smoke, there have been a lot of wildfires in the province of British Columbia with the dry conditions in Victoria. There hasn't been in the province rather. There hasn't been a whole lot of rain this summer, and so despite the fact that there are not a whole lot of forest fires here in the city of Victoria, the wind has blown the smoke overhead, and that has made for some not ideal air quality in the last couple of weeks. The good news, though, is it's starting to clear today a little bit, and we're also expecting tonight for the air quality to improve even more. So we hope that that will not be a factor at all into the tournament this weekend. Nothing in one is the count. That one just drifts inside on Jonathan Jones, the third baseman, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Jean-Luc Blacquier, the DH, stands at first with 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 3. Fastball just misses upstairs from Greg Barry. It's 2-1. And Barry now is set for the 2-1 pitch. Another fastball just up high. And it's 3 balls and a strike on Jonathan Jones, who, as he showed you last night in the home run derby, has a good amount of pop in his bat. He's a big guy at the plate. And with 2 outs, a runner at first, he might be swinging away here in this 3-1 count. He should have the green light if he wants to swing. There is a big swing, but he was just a little behind the fastball, and it's 3-2. Blacquier, the runner at first, will be off on the pitch in a 3-2 count with 2 outs. And Barry is set at the belt for the payoff. This one is hit hard, and it's flagged down deep in the hole. The long throw across is in time. What a play at short by Clark. Deep in the hole, able to gun it across the diamond, and an accurate throw to Troy Croft at first as well. And that will get his starting pitcher, Greg Barry, through the 3rd inning. A scoreless frame for Barry, and we play on to the 4th at Wilson's Group Stadium. It's a 4-1 lead still for Quebec.
Sunday night at 7 p.m. at Wilson's Group Stadium. Sponsors, we want to thank Accent Inns and Hotel Center, Passion Sports, Spinnakers, Tesseract Computers, Pacific Crest Brewery Company, Victoria Hall Radio, Hall of Flair, Saving Foods, Wilson's Transportation, Emory Electric, Baby Electric Clinic, All Star Rescue, Vincent Hall, Island Savings, Baby's Carpenters, Coca-Cola, Baby Street House, and our presenting sponsor, Baseball Tournament Championship in the BC Waterways Corporation, BCLC. The offer Newfoundland, first base number 25, Troy Croft.
Fourth inning led off by Troy Croft, the first baseman for Newfoundland, and after scoring 1 in the first, the St. John's Capitals the representative of Newfoundland, have struggled to get anything much off of Etienne Saint-Amand, the starter for Quebec. He has been very good the last couple of frames. This one is flagged down deep in the hole. The throw is in time. What a play at second base there by Pierre-Oliver Dostelet. And that's back-to-back web gems in the last two plays we've seen. The last play of the third inning by Trevor Clark at short for Newfoundland, and now Pierre-Oliver Dostelet with a fine play at second base for the first out of the top of the fourth. So both teams showing out defensively here in the last couple moments of this game. And that'll be the first out of the frame here for Saint-Amand. So Croft is retired. Andrew Paul, the right fielder, stepping in. Paul now takes one up high and perhaps a bit outside as well. 1 ball and 1 strike. That one misses downstairs from Saint-Amand. 2-1 the count. Still a right-hander throwing in the bullpen for Newfoundland. The pen for Quebec is quiet for good reason, with Etienne Saint-Amand still looking strong on the mound. Three and 1 pitch misses for ball 4. So it's a 1-out walk issued by Saint-Amand as Paul is able to reach base with 1 out. Next up, Aaron Flood, the center fielder, will get his second chance to hit. Flood struck out his first time up, so at the very least he'll try to put something in play here in his second at bat. Flood with a lengthy look down to the third base coach for Newfoundland. See if he's trying to put down a bunt perhaps to move Paul up into scoring position, or if he's just swinging away. Not showing bunt on the first pitch. He takes a strike from Saint-Amand. Nothing in 1 pitch. Runner goes for second. The throw down is past the second baseman and into shallow center field. That was actually the shortstop Valier covering the bag. A nice job by Dostelet, the second baseman, to back that throw up and make sure that didn't get too far past the bag into center. But it is a stolen base here for Andrew Paul to get himself into scoring position. And here now is the 1-1 pitch. Fastball well outside at 85 on the radar gun from Etienne Saint-Amand. 2-1 the count to Aaron Flood. Saint-Amand looks in for the signs, and here now is the 2-1. A check swing, missing for ball 3. Flood able to hold up on the swing. Good hitters count with that runner. Andrew Paul up there at second in scoring position. This one is hit hard to first, into the glove of the first baseman Loiseau. The throw back to second was not quite in time, but a tough luck line out for Aaron Flood as he is denied a base hit and perhaps an RBI. Good awareness, though, at second, running the bases there by Andrew Paul to make sure that he did not get doubled off. So they'll take a 2-out base hit from Redmond Hunt to get Paul in from second. Little half-hearted swing there from Hunt, and he came up empty, 0-1. 0-1 pitch just misses up high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. There's a pitch sliced foul by Hunt, and it's 1-2. Etienne Saint Amand looking for one more good pitch to get him through the top of the fourth. And again, ever since that first inning where he gave up the one run, he's looked very sharp on the mound for Quebec. Andrew Paul with a good lead off of second. And here is the 1-2 offering from Saint Amand. Just getting a little piece of it to stay alive was Hunt, and we'll do it again on 1-2. Long look in for Saint Amand, and he is now set for another 1-2 pitch. Fastball up and away, not close. Easy take there for Hunt, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes as the count evens up. If Hunt is able to reach, it would be Dave Penny, the left fielder, getting a chance to hit here in the top of the 4th inning. And now the 2-2 is fouled back, a big breaking ball from Saint Amand, and it's still 2-2. We have a score update from the other field, Lambrick Park. 3-0 now is the lead for the Red Deer Riggers, representatives of Alberta, over Ontario 2, the Ilderton Red Army. That one in the bottom of the 4th inning. Another 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Actually a foul tip held onto by Turcotte, the catcher. And a punch out for Etienne Saint Amand to get him through the 4th. We play on to the bottom half of the inning. 4-1. Quebec is in front of Newfoundland on Go Live broadcasts. On to the bottom of the 4th inning, and Emmanuel Turcotte, the catcher, will begin the frame for Quebec at the plate. 8-9 and 1 for Quebec in the inning. Turcotte, Dostelay, and Deschamps back to the top of the order. 2 balls and no strikes is the count. Greg Barry is still on the mound for the St. John's Capitals. And here is the 2-0 pitch to Turcotte. Chopper to third, into the glove of McKenzie. Throw across is in time, and that's the first out of the frame. Well, we have seen some very good defense on both sides in this game, which is a good sign to start the tournament. Sometimes you do get, with the travel to a new diamond, the unfamiliar playing surface for both of these two teams, and just the fact it being a morning game on the first day of the tournament, sometimes you can get a little bit of sloppy defense, but that has not been the case here in this game this morning. Both teams very sharp, especially on the infield. There's a breaking ball from Barry that catches the outside corner for strike one. Pierre-Oliver Dostole, the second baseman at the plate. Speaking of defense, what a play that was from him an inning ago to start out the top of inning number 3 with a diving stop onto the shallow right center field grass, and then he got to his feet to throw out the runner. This one is hit down the right field line, but it'll just tail foul. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Dostole. Bases are empty with 1 out here in the bottom of inning number 4. A 4-1 lead still for Quebec. 7 hits for them, just 2 hits on the Newfoundland side, and both of them came in the first inning. Another chance for McKenzie at third, but that one just goes foul. Etienne Saint-Amand has pitched very well since that first. He's really settled in. Allowed the 1 run on 2 hits. Does have 5 strikeouts as well, and 2 free passes issued. One and 2 pitch misses down and away there by Barry, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one just chopped foul. I think actually it hit off of the hitter Dostole after he fouled it off the inside of his leg. Action now in both bullpens. A righty has gotten up for Quebec to throw down the left field line, and still a right-hander throwing for Newfoundland. But I think the St. John's Capitals are trying to get Barry as deep into this game as they can, as this one is rolled on the ground to short. The throw is one hopped, but in time to first. A nice play by Clark to get Dostole for out number 2. Nice job as well on the receiving end by Troy Croft at first to keep his foot on the bag, stretch out, and take that ball off a hop. So a nice play on both ends there for Newfoundland for the second out of the inning. And we'll go back to the top of the order now for Danny Deschamps, the center fielder. And there's a strike from Barry on the first pitch to Deschamps, 0-1. Fastball missing outside there from Barry to even the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. There's a curveball low, and now Barry will switch the baseball. 2 balls and 1 strike here on Danny Deschamps, who has reached base twice in this game, a single and a double. And he's also scored to lay off it, and the count is full now, 3-2. This one is hit in the air to deep left field, going back on it, looking up at the wall, and this ball is gone. Just crept over the wall and left, and Danny Deschamps is 3/4 of the way to the cycle. A single, a double, and now a home run. The triple is all that's left for Deschamps, and it's 5-1 Quebec with the opposite field solo homer here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Number 35, right fielder,
Danny Deschamps doing it all atop the order for Quebec here in the opener of this tournament. This one hit on the ground to first, there by Emmanuel Forcier. Troy Croft takes it himself to the bag. And that will retire the side, but Quebec able to add another run to the board here in the bottom of the fourth. A solo home run by Danny Deschamps has made it a 5-1 lead.
Yeah, they sell coffee here. I saw them earlier making coffee. Near the red truck. They were making coffee earlier. I think I saw them.
On to inning number 5 at Wilson's Group Stadium. And leading it off for Newfoundland, the top of the 5th, is Dave Penny, the left fielder. Now a bigger hill to climb for the St. John's Capitals and Team Newfoundland with the 4-run deficit. Danny Deschamps has done a lot of damage atop the order for Quebec. He's scored 3 runs now after that solo homer to extend the Quebec lead to 5-1. And still looking strong on the mound is Etienne Saint-Amand for Quebec. This one is hit softly into center field, over to it, unable to make the catch, as that one was caught on the short hop by Deschamps, so it'll be a base hit for Penny. Was able to slide and trap it off the hop on the center field grass. So it is a leadoff single for Dave Penny and the first hit for Newfoundland since the first inning. So they need to try to string some hits together here in this top half of inning number 5. And remember, the games, all the games in the tournament, 7-inning games. So that means that if you're trailing in the middle innings, you really have to think about trying to cut the deficit as soon as you can. You don't want to leave it to the 6th or 7th. And of course, you don't have the 8th and 9th innings to try to come back from a deficit either. There is strike 1 to Dylan McKenzie, the third baseman. No balls and a strike the count. With nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning, and Dave Penny, the base runner, over there at first. Nothing in 1 pitch is fouled away, high over the left side. 1 ball, check that, nothing in 2 the count. That is strike 3 called as the home plate umpire Mitch Brosser rings up McKenzie for out number 1. So the Capitals will head back to the top of the order for Trevor Clark now. with 1 on and 1 out. Clark in this game 1 for 2 with that double leading off the ball game in the top of the first. Also came around to score a run on a wild pitch, and that is the only run of the game to this point for Newfoundland. Big breaking ball misses up and in there from Saint Amand. 1 ball and no strikes on Clark. When 0 pitch drops in for a strike, and it's 1 and 1 now. The count evens up. Another breaking ball comes inside, and this one hits Clark, so that'll push Dave Penny up to second base. Clark goes to first, and it is the first real sign of trouble for Etienne Saint Amand since that first inning now. As he's pitching out of the stretch, trying to get Quebec through the top of the 5th with their 4-run lead intact. The hitter now will be Parker Gulliver, who is also 1 for 2. Newfoundland started off the ball game with a double and then a single, but did not see any more hits in the hit column until Dave Penny's single to lead off this top of the 5th inning. First pitch to Gulliver was fouled away, and it's 0-1. This one is hit foul down the right field line over towards the bullpen of Newfoundland. 2 balls make that 0-2 the count. Big opportunity here for Newfoundland in this top of the 5th inning. They have 8 more outs to work with in this game, the 7-inning game here this morning. 2-0 pitch is bounced up the middle, could be 2. There is 1 at second. The throw to first is in time. Double play. Check that, just 1 on that play, as the second baseman Dostole at second was not actually on the bag. So it was nicely turned by Quebec, but Dostole was not standing on the bag at second. So safe at second is Clark, and there will be runners at second and third with 2 outs. And now out of the dugout is Daniel Belisle, the head coach for Quebec, asking for an explanation here. But the second base umpire, Chris Hartley, had a very good view of it and was immediate in his call. The scoop throw from short by Valliere was not quite on the money. It forced, I think, Dostole to adjust his feet to take in the throw first before firing across the relay throw to first. But it looks like Clark will be safe. Penny goes to third, and Newfoundland will get an extra life here in this 5th inning. 2 men in scoring position now for Brent Power, the second baseman. Swinging a foul back by Power. He tried to catch up to that fastball at 83 from Etienne Saint Amand. Velocity still pretty good for him. He's been working between 83 and 85 with the fastball all game long. Nothing in 1, the count on Brent Power, and a big spot here once again for Newfoundland to try to get them back in this game. Pitch misses there, close, but missing for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count. Saint Amand with the look in, and now the pitch is downstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Runners at second and third with 2 outs, and the 2-1 pitch is crowding Power up and in. Fastball at 83 from St. Amand. And it's now 3-1. So a good hitter's count in a big spot here for Brent Power. We know that he'll have the green light if he wants to try to swing away to try and drive in those 2 runners in scoring position. This one is into left center field and will be caught on the run by Toro in left to end the inning. So St. Amand gets out of it with no damage in the 5th. Still a 5-1 Quebec lead as we go to the bottom half of the inning on Go Live Broadcasts.
BCLC is proud to be a part of communities across BC. From entertainment and great prizes to jobs and support for the tourism industry, the benefits of our business are province-wide. Every year, our players generate more than $1 billion for the province of BC, which is used to support healthcare, education, and community groups. Together, we play it forward.
Now taking Newfoundland, number 20. Number 4, Shortstop, Senator Valier.
To the bottom of the 5th inning we go, and Cedric Valier, the shortstop, is leading things off for Quebec. 3, 4, and 5 scheduled to hit in the Quebec order in this inning. Valier, Blackier, and Toro. A 4-run lead still intact for Quebec after Etienne St. Amand was able to work his way out of trouble in the top half of the inning. And a new pitcher on the mound here to start the bottom of the 5th for Newfoundland. It's the righty Matt Murphy getting a chance to throw. There was, as well, a little while back, some action in the Quebec bullpen. So we'll see if Etienne St. Amand is going to come back out to work the 6th or if his day will be done. Bullpen is quiet for Quebec as of right now. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count here on Valier to lead off the bottom of the 5th. Breaking ball is hit into shallow center off the end of the bat, and this will fall in front of Aaron Flood for a leadoff single. So Valier starts off this bottom of the 5th with a base hit. And that is hit number 9 in the ballgame for Quebec. They have 5 runs to show for it. On the flip side, a run on 3 hits for Newfoundland. That'll bring up Jean-Luc Blaquier, the cleanup hitter, who's already driven in 2 runs in this game, has a single and a double, and has also scored a run for Quebec. First pitch strike there from Matt Murphy, so it's 0-1. And Murphy now sets for the 0-1 pitch. This one is drilled into center and will get down for another base hit. Now it gets past Flood and will roll all the way to the warning track. Valliere getting the wave around third, and he will come in to score. It's another double for Jean-Luc Blaquier, and Cedric Valliere scores all the way from first to make it 6-1 for Quebec.
Number 57, the left fielder, Douglas Toro.
And still nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning after a single and then a double for this Quebec team. Now Douglas Toro steps up to the plate to hit. He's 1 for 2 with a run driven in. First pitch to Toro is bounced to the plate, missing for ball 1. Good block though by the catcher, Redmond Hunt. There's a chopper foul off the bat of Toro to even the count, 1-1. An even 10 hits in the ball game now for Quebec, who have come out swinging some hot bats here in their first game of the tournament against Newfoundland. We have an update for you from the other park, and it's also another team that has been swinging the bats right out the gate. Alberta, represented by the Red Deer Riggers, is in front of the Ilderton Red Army, the representative of Ontario 2, by a score of 8-0 over at Lambrick Park. So a great start for Alberta and the Red Deer Riggers. They had just now a 5-run 5th inning to extend their lead to 8-0. Two balls and 2 strikes is the count here on Douglas Toro, the left fielder. Still nobody out in the bottom of the 5th, and already a run home in the frame for Quebec. Two and 2 pitch is bounced to the left side of the infield. The throw across is not quite in time, and it also pulled the first baseman Troy Croft out off the bag. He tried to tag the runner out, but missed with the tag. So it's going to be a single for Douglas Toro. First and second, now the runners for Quebec with still nobody out. That'll bring up Nicholas Loiseau, the first baseman, and he takes ball 1 from Matt Murphy, who is still trying to find the first out since he entered the game here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Murphy has already allowed the run on a couple of hits in this frame. Here's a ground ball up the middle. The flip to second for 1, back to first, and that's a nicely turned 4-6-3 double play. 2 big outs for Murphy. Taylor made to second. The lead runner does go to third on the play. That is Blaquier. And Jonathan Jones now will be the hitter, the third baseman. Jones 0 for 2 to this point in the ball game, but he has a runner at third base 90 feet away with 2 outs, trying to drive that 7th run in for Quebec. Matt Murphy will step off the mound before resetting himself here for the first pitch to Jonathan Jones. That one misses up high on the first pitch to Jones. 1 ball and no strikes. And here now is the 1-0. That one's downstairs below the knees. 2 balls and no strikes. Jones showing off the patient approach at the plate to start this at bat. There's a strike from Murphy to get back in the count, 2-1. Jones yet to commit to a swing in this at bat, but he's worked himself into a solid hitter's count. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now that pitch misses down and away. Easy take for Jones that time, and another good block by Redmond Hunt to keep it in front of him. So the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Jean-Luc Blacquier, the base runner at third, with 2 gone. And there's a strike on 3-1. Nice pitch on the outside part of the plate by Matt Murphy to run the count full now, 3-2. And Murphy is now set for the payoff pitch. That will just miss outside for ball 4. Close pitch. But runners will be at the corners now for Quebec. Jones trots down to first. Jean-Luc Blacquier still over there at third. And Emmanuel Turcotte, the catcher, will step up to the plate to hit. Turcotte 0 for 2 with a strikeout on his line in this game. Chance for him to break out of the 0 for with a big 2-out base hit to try to give Quebec another run, a 7th run in the game. Fastball at 78 miles an hour there from Matt Murphy, just misses off the outside corner. And the count is 1-0 on Emmanuel Turcotte. There's a strike in there at the knees, and it's 1-1 now. The count evens up. One pitch is fouled away high over the right side. Well, that noise you hear, the high pitch noise, is an osprey, which we have seen before here at Wilson's Group Stadium. I think there might be a nest or something in one of the light posts out there in center field, but not a whole lot of fans at the ballpark here for this game, so the Ospreys are in attendance, though. There's a strike, and that is strike 3 called as Turcotte is down looking to end the inning. Quebec gets one more in the frame, but we head on now to the 6th. It's 6-1, Quebec in front of Newfoundland on Go Live Broadcasts.
Est-ce que c'est les Blacks qui sont cachés?
go, Boo!
Number 25, first baseman, Troy Croft.
To the 6th inning we go at Wilson's Group Stadium, and it's a 6-1 lead for Quebec over Newfoundland in the opening game of the 2018 Baseball Canada Men's National Championships. This one is hit hard but foul down the right field line off the bat of Troy Croft, the first baseman. New pitcher for Quebec into the game. It's Matthew Boutin, the right-hander. But 5 very strong innings from Etienne Saint-Amand. The final line for him looks like this. Went those 5 innings, allowed a run on 3 hits and 2 walks with 6 strikeouts. So a very good start for Saint-Amand to put his team in position to win their opening game. This one is popped up and will get out of play into the seats. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Troy Croft. We mentioned earlier in this game that Croft is the oldest player in the tournament at 45 years of age. This Newfoundland team actually has both the oldest and youngest players in the tournament on their roster. The youngest is a catcher, John Cribb, who is 18 years of age. There's a wave and a miss by Croft, and a nice off-speed pitch there by Matthew Boutin to punch out Croft for his first out since coming in to start out the 6th inning. So here now is Andrew Paul for Newfoundland, taking strike 1. 81-mile-an-hour fastball by Boutin, just catching the outside corner. One ball and 1 strike. And it's up high. That one at 80 on the radar gun from Boutin. 2 balls and a strike now. 5-run lead for Quebec here in the top of inning number 6. And there's a swing and a miss for 2-2. 5 more outs now to work with for Newfoundland to get those 5 runs back, as they are in jeopardy of dropping their first game of the tournament. Quebec trying to win their first game back in the tournament here after they were not involved in last year's tournament, which also was right here in Victoria, BC. Count is full here to Andrew Paul, 3-2. And the pitch misses outside for ball 4. Pretty easy take there from Andrew Paul on 3-2. And Newfoundland needs base runners. They have one now at first with Paul over there. Now Aaron Flood is the hitter, the center fielder. But just looking back to Quebec in their history at this tournament, they had a great run in the late 1980s and early 90s. The team from Quebec medaled 7 years in a row from 1989 to 1995, including back-to-back gold medals in 1993 and 94. That success continued into the 2000s with a run of 6 top 3 finishes in 8 years from 2002 to 2009, which included a couple more gold medals in 2003 and 07. But since the start of the 2010s, Quebec has not quite had that same level of success. They've medaled only once since the turn of this current decade, which was a silver medal in 2015. But again, after not participating last year, Quebec has fielded this all-star team from the province to send 3 time zones away here to Victoria, and they're off to a good start with a 6-1 lead here in their opening game against Newfoundland. 2 balls and 1 strike is the count here on Aaron Flood, the center fielder. Andrew Paul, the right fielder, is at first base. This one is hit into pretty deep left center field. Drifting over to it is Deschamps, and he makes the play on the run in left center field for out number 2. Just back to wrap that point on Quebec. All in all, Quebec has medaled 16 times since the start of the Baseball Canada Men's National Championships in 1969. They have 4 gold medals, which we talked about, 8 silver medals, and 4 bronze medals. So looking for another finish on the podium for number 17 here in this 2018 version of the Baseball Canada Men's National Championship. No balls and 1 strike here on Redmond Hunt, the catcher. Pitch from Boutin just misses down and away, and it's 1-1. One pitch is popped up into shallow left, and this one will get Boutin out of it. Nice inning from him in relief, and he works around the 1-out walk. 6-1 Quebec in front of Newfoundland as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
À l'hôtel, il y en a de même le matin. Ça règne des fous. Toute la game. Je cherche sa maman.
Now playing center field, number 4, Bonnie Reese.
Bottom of the 6th inning, and one more chance for Quebec to add on to their 5-run lead before the top of the 7th, where they'll be looking for 3 more outs to seal their opening game win here at the 2018 Baseball Canada Men's National Championships. We have a couple of housekeeping notes to tell you about, as this ball is drilled to deep right, but it's going to tail foul. That clearly had home run distance on it by the pinch hitter here for Quebec, Francois Alexandre Tamboso. But he was just a little out in front of it, and so it was a long strike one. Also a new pitcher in for Newfoundland here to toss inning number 6, Sean Janes, the right-hander. As Janes able to find the zone for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Tamboso. And defensively for Newfoundland, we have a new center fielder. Replacing Aaron Flood is Daniel Rice in center. Here's a weak grounder back to the mound. The throw across is in time at first. And that's the first out of the bottom of inning number 6. Nice play there by Janes, getting off the mound and providing an accurate throw to first to get Tamboso.
Number 23, the center fielder, Daniel Deschamps.
So back to the top of the order we go now for Danny Deschamps. First pitch from Janes missed to Deschamps. 1 ball and no strikes. And remember, Deschamps is a triple shy of the cycle in this game. And with a 7-inning game, all the games in this tournament, 7 innings of length, it isn't often that guys will have all 4 at-bats that you usually get in a 9-inning game. But with Quebec putting some runs on the board, Deschamps is getting another chance here. His 4th trip to the plate. He is singled, doubled, and homered in that order. This one is out in the air to deep left center field, and it'll get into the gap, but cut off in center. Will be another double for Deschamps. Could not quite advance to third. Looked for a moment off the bat like if that one got through the gap into left center and split the outfielders, Deschamps might have a chance to try to hustle over to third, but it was cut off in center field by Rice. Still though, 4-hit day, including a couple of doubles and a homer for Danny Deschamps. Great start to the tournament for him. He has scored 3 runs and a chance to score a 4th here if Emmanuel Forcier can try to drive him in. Pitch bounces to the plate and will get away from the catcher Hunt. That allows Deschamps to advance 90 feet up to third. So Forcier not necessarily in need of a hit here to knock in the 7th run of the game for Quebec. Infield will now come in for Newfoundland. They can ill afford to have any more runs come across. So one hit right back up the middle. It's knocked down at second, and the throw goes across to first to get Forcier. Nice play by Power to save a run there for Quebec. And with the infield in, Deschamps over there at third had to hold up, could not try to score on that play. Okay. And it does pay off, the decision to bring the infield in for Newfoundland. Had Power been at his normal depth, which he now is back at his normal position at second, that one surely would have scored Deschamps from third. So now it's Cedric Valliere, and he pops up the first pitch into shallow center field. Who's it going to be? Looks like the shortstop, Trevor Clark, making the catch, and that's the inning. So we head to the top of the 7th, 3 more outs for Quebec. They're trying to wrap up their win in the opening game of the tournament here on Go Live Broadcasts.
Number 21, Lazar David.
To the top of inning number 7 here at Wilson's Group Stadium. Back to work is Matthew Boutin, who looked sharp in his first inning of relief in the top of the 6th after he came in to follow the starter Etienne Saint-Amand, who pitched a very good ball game, 5 strong innings for Saint-Amand. And Boutin looking for 3 more outs here for Quebec to wrap up the victory for them in the opening game of the tournament. The hitter at the plate is Dave Penny, the left fielder, 8-9-1 due up for Newfoundland here in their half of the 7th. Penny, McKenzie, and then back to the top of the order for Trevor Clark. 2-0 pitch popped up into shallow left field. Going back of short to make the catch is Valliere, and there's 1 down. So the team from Quebec, this the all-star team that's been fielded for this tournament, they have 6 runs on 12 hits, 1 run on just 3 hits for Newfoundland, who will be looking to rebound in their next game. First pitch from Boutin misses downstairs to Dylan McKenzie, the third baseman. 1-0 pitch is a strike, and it's 1-1. Just a note for the viewers at home, the scoreboard shows it's in the bottom of the 6th inning, but we are in the top of inning number 7 here at Wilson's Group Stadium. Game 1 of 4 today here at the ballpark on the opening day of the 2018 Baseball Canada Men's National Championships. So the catcher, Emmanuel Turcotte, was hit by a big piece of that pitch. I think it was actually fouled off the bat of Dylan McKenzie, and it caught him in a tough spot. So he'll have a moment here to walk that one off. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on McKenzie. Bases are empty with 1 out here in the top of inning number 7. Newfoundland will not play again today. Their next game comes tomorrow versus Alberta. For Quebec, they will have another game today. They would play over at Lambrick Park at 3 p.m. this afternoon against Ontario 2, the Ilderton Red Army. And just to check back in on that game over at Lambrick Park, still 8-0, the scoreline in favor of Alberta over Ontario 2. And that one in the 7th inning, so Alberta well on their way to getting their first victory in the opening game of the tournament for them. Count is full here, 3-2 on Dylan McKenzie. And the pitch from Boutin. Bounced right back to the mound, tips off the glove of Boutin. He's able to find it and throw it to first for out number 2.
Number 3, shortstop, Clark.
So Newfoundland now down to their final out here in this game, trailing by the 5 runs. They are going to need a major rally here to have any chance of coming back. But Quebec has seen a very well-pitched ball game on their side from an Etienne Saint-Amand, and Matthew Boutin as well has looked very sharp in relief. They've really held these Newfoundland hitters down, held them to just 3 hits in the game. And 2 of those 3 hits came in the first inning. You could tell that Etienne Saint-Amand just took a couple of hitters to really settle in and get himself comfortable on the mound. And once he did, he looked very strong for Quebec. And Matthew Boutin, again in relief of Saint-Amand, has done a nice job as well. Count here is 3-0 on Trevor Clark, the shortstop. And there's a strike from Boutin to move the count now to 3 balls and 1 strike. And there is another one. You could tell Clark, as he should be, taking all the way, trying to get aboard any way he can. Here is now the 3-2, and that's strike 3 called, and that's the ball game. So Quebec with the victory in the opening game of the tournament here at Wilsons Group Stadium. What a job by Etienne Saint-Amand, the starter, and Matthew Boutin in relief as well. Pitching a very good ball game for Quebec, who takes it 6-1. They also pounded out 12 hits in just 6 innings. And Newfoundland will be looking to rebound in their next game, which comes tomorrow against Team Alberta. Quebec will have another chance here to play this afternoon against Ontario 2 over at Lambrick Park, as they will aim to go to 2-0 on day 1 of the tournament. Well, we thank you for tuning in this morning, or wherever you are looking in, whether it was the afternoon across Canada, for the opening game of the 2018 Baseball Canada Men's National Championships. It's Quebec defeating Newfoundland 6-1. The next game we will have for you here at Wilsons Group Stadium coming up at noon Pacific time between Ontario 1, the Tecumseh Thunder, and Nova Scotia. That one will be broadcast by Jameson Schultz-Franco. Thanks for tuning in for the opening game of the tournament. We'll see you back here at 12 noon in Victoria.